I don't know.
I don't know what was that.
What was that? Andrew, what was that?
So all Americans who are saying that this movie is not real, of course movie is at some point is exaggerated, but they exaggerated real things.
Even his dream to be one of the greatest drummer. Because if it's not with passion, not with love, then why you should do this? He, just like last name of this Andrew, yes?
Yes.
Як це називається?
Oh.
You are detective.
Yes, I know this.
It was like, look at me.
Mhm.
I'm not bad. I'm not stupid. And he just like he said was, I earned that place.
Yes. I was actually waiting for that, at the end of the movie
yes,
to appear that it was based on a true story. We watched Whiplash, a famous movie about a drummer who wanted to be in a band, a jazz band, and he was studying in a fictional conservatory.
Yes.
Musical conservatory. And, well, we have some thoughts. Well, how can one not have one? Okay, let's be positive. What was positive about this movie?
Yes. Maybe his ambition was, I think it was positive, that no matter what, he don't give up. And the last was scene when was concert and he played that caravan. If he couldn't play, it was just his career was like lost. Like he played not well. He didn't prepare anything.
Oh, that was...
Yes.
I didn't watch that movie, but I think I will, because but I can listen and.
But you should definitely watch it. I think that all people who go on music step should
watch that movie.
Yes, because it's
not only that they put all worst fears in this movie,
yes,
they made this movie feel very relatable, and that lonely practice sessions till physical pain, yes.
Till blood.
What positive I think I found in this movie is, definitely was a shock that after all, in that Carnegie Hall, he still went on the stage. That was something, I don't know, maybe that was because he probably had nothing to lose.
Yes, he had nothing to lose, and he had no choice because of that. If he suck, how then
it couldn't have been worse.
Yes.
Then it was like Fletcher already set him up, and yes, it was already nothing to lose.
Yes.
So he could only show his best. Yes, that music takes a lot of time, that he had to leave his girlfriend, and yes, also that dinner table, like that dinner scene where his relatives were all fussing about his relative, I guess, that he was playing in football. You probably don't remember this scene.
No.
I remember because everyone's just like, wow, he plays in that soccer team, he is so great. While, and music, if you think about it, it's not less demanding. It requires as much, if not more, because...
I think more.
Yes.
More brain.
Yes, and definitely more precision. Also, we are not in jazz music.
Yes.
So we're more into classical music, but still heard it very bad.
This movie was shock.
Yes.
For us. What touched me is that why he wanted just if it not was the only way to be with that professor Fletcher, like to study with him and it was like, look at me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not bad. I'm not stupid. And he just like he said was, I earned that place.
Yes.
I think you should, in music, you should, for me, in my opinion, you should take it with passion, with some love, and
Yes.
it's and it can be even yes, it also can be discipline. It also can be discipline.
Yes.
It's main thing, one of main things, discipline, passion, but this, I mean, this not even violence. Why you should, is it worth it to suffer like this? I think it's not, it's nothing matters. This music, this Fletcher, this concert, this his dream to be one of the greatest drummer. Because if it's not with passion, not with love, then why you should do this?
That loneliness, that they also captured it well. Musicians are always
Misunderstood.
underrated. They're always underrated and underestimated. Underestimated because, I mean, it's music, you know, it's fun. This movie shows well that music isn't always fun. Sometimes it's a complete survival.
Yes. What you're doing? You play an instrument. It's your hobby, yes?
Yeah.
It is your main job. I thought maybe it was just in Russian background. This not just
Like
violence,
this dominance over students.
Yes, and I thought if they made this movie, then they have that experience in America. All world is like all problems is the same in all musicians.
Yes, in post-Soviet background, well, I can say that I felt a lot of scenes in. They have this kind of method, this kind of approach towards students. I don't know, for some reason they believe that musician and that student won't practice if they aren't afraid.
Yes, it's the only way.
Yes.
It's fear and not else. Just practice with fear.
Yes. If you come and tell them, you know, I actually love this, I want to do this, like, it's my passion, that's where I want to grow. Well, first thing is they don't believe you. And
what would you do for a living? Like
yes.
bread, my teacher said, for bread.
Yes, for a piece of bread and water.
Yes.
Well, then the question, well, I generally think that music is a horrible way to think of future income. I don't know, if to think music as only about money, then that's a horrible business plan.
I think if you want to create some music, like true self music, if you come it with fear, it just won't come up.
Yes.
It needs to be with curiosity, with some inspiration. If these things aren't, then it's all don't work. It just won't make up with it, and it has no sense. Then it has no sense. We just like some philosophy.
Yes.
It's kind of yes.
Yes, that's how our teachers say. You think too much. Practice.
Yes, I think too much. Then I feel like I'm too many Bach has.
Yes.
His philosophy, and I just.
Sometimes I just sit in my violin lesson, I open my soul, like, about music, about something higher, and my teacher stares at me. You know, you can philosophize after, like at home maybe, when you practice like for 8 hours. But now, and then she just stares at me. Wow, how did you survive?
But I don't understand. Is it just like a film or it was the story? Like.
No, it's not a real story.
No.
It's very good.
Yes.
I would just cry and say,
No, you can relax.
Okay.
It was exaggerated.
I was actually waiting for that, at the end of the movie
yes,
to
that's-
appear that it was based on a true story, and I
There
was
was
relieved
not.
to see that there was not.
So I'm shocked that this is not a real story.
Yes, it touches all musicians. If you watch, you will see. Yes.
Yes, not only musicians. We watched with our family, and I was just like, "Please, can we watch this?" And no, Yana didn't know this movie. Mom, Dad, they were all like new, and I was just like, "Please, I watched these few reels. I really liked Whiplash. Ta 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 ta. I really liked it, and I was just like, we need to watch this." And I played it, and well, of course, I and Yana, we were all like, that's it. And our mom was also very. Oh, even our dad, like, he's far from music at some point. He's not a musician. And he was just like, wow. But yes, back to the movie. Another thing I noticed with this, the resemblance between my teacher, especially, I'm talking about myself. I hope she doesn't see this video. She was all nice at the beginning as well. She was like, "Can you play something?" Also some.
No, I
Like, yeah. But what I see is, Fletcher, when he was playing at that bar, when he was already fired. So when he was at that scene, and he says to Andrew. I forgot that he's Andrew because Fletcher always calls him Neiman or just like on German no one. Neiman.
Niemand.
That's on German D is on the end of the word, and so
one.
basically he calls him no one, nobody.
Yes, no one.
Did you notice this? I
No,
noticed
I
this.
don't
His
know.
last name was Neiman, and he was always calling him by his last name, which is basically nobody.
Just like last name of this
Wow.
Andrew, yes?
Yes.
Як це називається?
Oh.
You are detective.
Yes, I noticed. And I was just like, okay, this sounds a bit too like nobody come here. And he says Fletcher says to Andrew that he won't apologize for his methods, that it was the right thing to do, that he only wanted to bring to the world the next Charlie Parker. Why I remember that scene, my teacher as well likes to say like that, I mean no harm, I just want that you grow up to your potential or something. And I was quite running out of time. And in one of her rehearsals, she says to my pianist, because I was playing with accompaniment, and my teacher says to the pianist that, I know why I don't have a successful student like Charlie Parker. They don't listen to me. That's it. If they would listen to me, they would already be great. They
You
would
have
be.
toxic teacher.
It all
Don't you think?
I think it almost all if it's a big amount of teachers that said like this.
And then I have question for both, like Fletcher and my teacher. If you are so great and you know so much, where are you? Why are you here then?
It almost it's what you just said. It was just it came up to my mind like if not 100 times, I'm in lesson and I just sit and think about that, and I just thought how and why you need to tolerate
Someone
suffer.
else's.
Yes. And like this Andrew in this film, he tolerates this Fletcher, and why? It's not one way. You can skip. You can try your best, but if you see that it's like
that
Fletcher,
there is no way you can communicate in a healthy way.
you can live. You can but of course he had that obsession that he wanted to achieve that goal, but first of all, why
this way?
Why this way? Why with Fletcher? Why he need to take him, not to take himself?
Why especially Fletcher's approval?
Yes, approval. Why
There
Robert?
is so many. I believe that there were a lot of other great. Fletcher isn't even great.
Yes. He like you said, Fletcher didn't become a
Yes.
great drummer.
Fletcher himself didn't become that Charlie Parker. Maybe he could say, Fletcher, if he said, this method works because I myself went through this and I became great and there's no other way.
Yes. Or maybe if he said, this method is helped Charlie.
Yes.
Then
But
okay.
yes, but even then, there's a lot of, for example, I think we can take
Not
Heifetz.
for all. Yeah.
If we take Heifetz, a lot of say that he went through like this harsh way of teaching. Like he grew up in this harsh environment
And
violent.
he also teaches like that.
No, a lot of his students said that he was kind, that
yes,
he
yes.
wasn't cruel, and I believe that if a person actually knows his subject, he can or she can explain it without torture. But then the question is why? I don't know. They say I ask these questions a bit too early because I'm still not there. I don't know, but but if we look after, okay? I think Andrew shows that well enough that okay, fine, you did it, you practiced. He played that solo. He played that caravan.
He did it.
Yes, he did it. But was it the same? We see that shoot in the movie where he watches when he's young and he plays that drums and he's all optimistic and happy. Was it the same feeling?
Full of inspiration.
Yes. Well, you achieve it. What was it?
But we don't know if we don't know the next scene after the concert. I mean,
Yes, but I can't help that feeling that they still show that Fletcher's method worked.
No, it's
Because at the end he still like went on the stage and he performed like. Yes, that's weird. Just with this movie, the first thing that scene, the first rehearsal he had. Why I remember it so well? Of course, it's one of the most colorful ones, but I'm also that person who always rushes. Like, he said, are you rushing or dragging? That's my teacher. Can you imagine? So all Americans who are saying that this movie is not real, of course, movie is at some point exaggerated, but they exaggerated real things. Because my teacher she stops me and looks me straight into my soul and she's like, are you rushing or are you dragging? Was it out of tune, higher or lower? And I was just like, yes. And she said it in the same way. Maybe she saw that movie because she said like, she says like, too low, too high, you don't know. I did not understand why he returned to Fletcher. It seemed like, some personal things he had with him.
Just self-esteem.
Yes,
I
but
think
why?
it's
Okay,
self-esteem.
fine, you have low self-esteem. Why Fletcher? The most... I don't know, there's no other way.
Maybe because he dominated on him, I don't know.
I don't know what was that.
What was that? Andrew, what was that?
I was refreshing my memory yesterday before this video, and I was just like, okay, fine. There were Americans saying that this movie is complete fiction, no one does this, and I really felt that pain. Of course, they exaggerated it, but every fear musician has, everything is there. And the way he insults, at the beginning we see how Fletcher insults a boy who has overweight.
And when he just skip him and even he played in tune.
Yes, at the end he says like, no, he played fine. I just didn't like him.
Like this Andrew, why Andrew is different from him because Andrew was like, I achieved that goal. I showed him.
proved you.
I proved you. And that play was so he don't have that I proved, and he was upset, but he was not so. He wasn't just like Andrew. Andrew wasn't. Andrew just wanted to. He wanted to stay. He wanted to approve. He wanted to be the best drummer. And
You know, the scariest thing I found out, when I watched this movie, I felt that I kind of, that I feel this kind of sympathy toward Andrew.
Yes.
But this, when I was playing this concert, this exam this week, and I was just like, there are teachers who don't like me, okay? They are just like Fletcher, they want to prove that I'm not there, that it's all wrong, and I just, I
You are
remember...
the worst student.
Yes, yeah, we can't do anything about it. How are we different from Andrew? Okay,
Yeah.
so...
Not so much violence.
Yeah, we are not...
And not physical.
Yeah. Yes, but, and I remember playing, like, I'm already, and I was just like, I will prove them, I am better, and I was just like, and I stop at the moment because I see the pattern, and that's where I messed up a few notes, and I was just like, fine, better messed up notes than wrong mindset.
He touched me too, Andrew, because when he wanted to prove him, it hurt me. It so much touched me that I was even after a film. I just was like, why it so touched me that
Yes.
he wanted to prove it, and it's in it. Even I was just like, Andrew, why you wanted to prove it? Why you are not bad. You can skip it and
There's
go
a lot
another
of
teacher,
other
another
ways.
conservator, another way.
And of course, yes, the moment that made my actually, I'm not exaggerating. Actually, my jaw dropped and my heart stopped is when Fletcher gives that speech in Carnegie Hall. He's like, if you do it well, you won't be forgotten, and if you do it wrong, you also won't be forgotten. And Andrew's just like, wow, because he learned that pieces. He's confident that he
And
learned
he
them.
was so excited, but he was
Yes.
so naive.
Yes,
Oh
and
my
I
God,
was just like,
that's
and if you think about it, it was a reasonable thing to think about it, but I also haven't thought that Fletcher might do something like this, and he just like, I know that you were the one to complain, and then they start playing the completely wrong piece.
Bam!
That was it, and I was just, I sit, my heart stopped, and
was shocked.
our dad says, well, he should have tried to
Improvise?
Improvise, like, yes, it's jazz.
It's just.
But
But if you just, it was so.
it was
rhythm.
it's
You can't
impossible.
hide.
You
can't.
can't. If you're a drummer, I don't think there's a way. How will you improvise? Okay, if you're a musician, is there a way to improvise in that scene?
Pulse, rhythm, and so on.
Either some light beat, but if that is a famous piece, then that's...
With that, he played it and so on, but it was with that.
With that, I will prove you. With that, with kind of this almost athletic approach. Well, music is not about it.
Yes, athletic approach and this hate. I think it was even a small amount of hate.
Prove you were all wrong. Fine, he proved at the end. But what then?
Yes.
Is that passion still alive? We say it instead of practicing, but it's important. Also, the one thing I would like to say, like to finish with this thought, I think that was the main thought that stayed after. If Fletcher believes that his methods was so great that he wouldn't even apologize for physically hurting his students, then why he didn't become that great and why he needed to become great through successful student. He wanted to become, as far as I understand, he wanted to self-affirm himself through another Charlie Parker, which is questionable at the beginning. I don't know, is there a way to not to destroy yourself through this harsh discipline?
This pain.
Yes, is there not? I mean, I almost see that this love, this passion for music is almost childlike. Like it's very fragile, and I believe it's very hard to not to hurt it in the way that you will kill it with discipline and hate and this kind of need to prove yourself. So I am curious whether there are actually soloists who can affirm that they became like world high level soloists, because despite everything they are still looked up to, like Maxim Vengerov, Hilary Hahn, Itzhak Perelman. They are still, maybe there are musicians who perform silently, but there are still, this kind of Olymp musicians. And I'm curious, did they actually manage to keep this raw and clear passion and love for music through this system? Yes, that was our aftertaste after this movie.
I enjoyed Sister.
Honestly, it's weird. I usually don't like movies like this. I usually skip them. I don't watch movies with Palm Branch or anything like this. I pass those movies. But this one was actually, despite that it wasn't pleasant, I still remember it and I really like it. And I believe this movie is evident that even music, it can be cruel. Music isn't always about something higher. It isn't always funny, something like Mozart. But I think even Mozart, and you can watch our videos, Mozart also had his issues, especially with his father. So I don't, to say that music is something cute. This movie is great. Even if you aren't a musician, you should definitely watch it.
Bye, I go watch this movie.
Okay, so
Our dad was so...
yes, he was
Wow.
shocked, our mom was shocked, everyone was shocked. In the next morning, so it was evening movie time, and in the next morning we sit and we just silently, and there's, wow, that was a movie. So that was it.
Yes.
I hopefully will film next video soon.
Bye.
Wait.
Wait, we are rushing.
Bye.
Bye.